Hey, what's going on everyone out there in YouTube land? So today we're going to check out a squonking kit, this one coming from Geek Vape, and this is the Athena Squonk kit. There it is with the device and the RDA. It's all one nice little package. At the moment, I got a dual tri-core fuse Clapton in here, ohming out to a 0.1, freshly charged Sony VTC5A, and we are dripping on some of the loaded cookie butter. Let's have a quick vape and we'll get into it. Now, the Athena Squonking Kit was sent over directly by Geek Vape for the purpose of this review. If you guys are looking to pick one up or check one out after the video, I will have some links posted in the description. After doing a quick Google search, I found it over at MyVPro, which is out of the States, and they are asking $59.95 for the kit. All right, folks, here we are, up close and personal with the Athena Squonk Kit, this one coming from Geek Vape. Just a quick look at the presentation box. Nice looking box. There's not really that much information on the back about the mod itself, but the overall package design is very well done. Inside the box, we have the Athena Squonk mod, and this will come with 2 bottles, I do believe, at least mine did anyways. You'll get a harder plastic Squonk bottle, and they will also include a softer silicone bottle. You'll get 2 feeding tubes, which is nice. Along with the mod and the bottle, they will also include the Athena RDA. Now, this RDA can be used as a squonking RDA or a regular RDA. You'll also get that nice Ultim drip tip on the top. Along with the RDA, they will include a spare parts bag, which will contain a 510 Delrin drip tip, a 510 Delrin drip tip adapter. You'll get the Geek Vape tool, some O-rings, some post screws, and you'll get a solid 510 pin if you want to run it on a regular device. Along with the spare parts bag, they will include a user manual that goes over some of the features of the Athena Squonk. Dimensions on the Athena, we're looking at 73 millimeters tall, 46 millimeters wide, and 25 millimeters thick. If we compare it up against a few other 18650 Squonk devices like the Armageddon box, you'll see that the Athena is a little bit shorter. If we compare it next to the Stentorian Ram, you'll see the Stentorian also is a little bit taller. And if we compare it next to the Boxer single 18650 Squonk, you'll see the Boxer also is a little bit taller. So this is a pretty short single 18650 device. Starting at the top is going to be your 510 connection. You'll notice the 510 platform is a little bit raised off the box right there, so that way your atomizers will look and sit nice and flush. We do have a spring-loaded bottom-feeding 510 pin, and the spring is nice and firm, which means it's going to make a really good connection to all your atomizers, and also it's going to prevent leaking when you're squonking on the bottle. Now, the included RDA measures 24 millimeters in diameter, but just for reference, we're going to screw down the 25 millimeter Kennedy, and you guys will see that this device will look good with atomizers up to 25 millimeters. The Kennedy does sit nice and flush, and we have absolutely no overhang. Now, the Athena is a fully mechanical box, which means there's no wires, no chips, or nothing like that. We have a fully mechanical switch. Nice, large, oversized switch, very easy to locate with your finger. The spring on here is very soft, very easy to press. I had no issues with the button. One feature I like about the Athena is going to be the locking switch. A lot of these squonking devices lack a locking feature, and if they do have a locking feature, sometimes they're kind of gimmicky. But this one, we have this kind of lever right here, and you push it up, and that's going to prevent you from locking the mod. So if you happen to put your mod in your pants or in your purse or whatnot, what you want to do is make sure you push that up and lock it. And it's a nice, stiff lock. It's not going to accidentally fall down or unlock on you, which is really nice. At the bottom, we do have the Athena logo once again. There is no battery ventilation on here because, of course, we have a huge cutout in the front. And then along the side, you'll notice the Athena logo. It's kind of machined into the side of the box, and I love the way they did that. Very classy looking. And then on the front and the back, we have a little bit of a design kind of machined into the box. And the back door and the front door are both removable. Here's the back door. You'll notice 2 large magnets there. And we have the cutout right here because it makes it much easier to pop out your battery since we don't have a battery strap. Another nice little added touch. On the front, of course, is going to be your cutout for your Squonk bottle. And, of course, we can remove that panel. You'll notice we have 4 magnets on here. We have 3 that magnetize to the battery and 1 that magnetizes to this magnet right here. And I think this was a really good idea, adding this additional magnet right there. Now, when there is not a battery in here, the door is pretty loose, okay, because there's nothing really holding the door on. But once you get a battery inside here, that door is pretty stiff. It's not going to pop off on you. Now, looking at the inside of the box, you'll see the internals nice and clean. I'm not sure if those are silver-plated contacts. They don't really state it in the specs, but I think they might be silver-plated. Now, to my knowledge, you can completely disassemble the internals on this box, which is nice. I haven't done it personally, but I know some people like to tinker around and take things apart, so that is a possibility. You'll notice the battery indicators in there, positive down, negative up. And of course, once again, you can remove both battery doors. And keep in mind, they do include the 2 bottles. These bottles will hold 6.5 mLs of liquid each. We have your super soft silicone bottle, and then we have your little harder plastic bottle. 2 feeding tubes, which is a really nice touch. And then if we pop in a battery, I recommend Sony VTC5A, guys. These are the best batteries for mechanical and regulated. And we're going to do positive down. Pop that in there. And it is going to be a kind of a real tight fit when you first start using it. But what I like is there's no battery strap to get in the way. But then when you want to pop out your battery, you're not struggling trying to get in there. All you have to do is just boom, pop it out from the back. And here's a closer look at the internals. It's a real quick up-close shot. You can see the firing mechanism right there, how it touches. Now I just want to show you guys real quick, now that I have a battery installed in there, you'll see the battery door is much more solid. It's not going to pop off or slide off on me because those 3 magnets are holding on to that battery. And you got that 4th magnet over here, so we have no door movement. As far as the durability and the finish, I believe this is a anodized aluminum. So the finish is going to hold up nicely. It's not going to flake or chip off. And because it's aluminum and it's not a cheap plastic, you don't have to worry about dropping it or cracking the plastic after a few weeks. And if we have a quick look at the included RDA, this is the Athena RDA, 24 millimeters in diameter. They do include a Ultim A10 drip tip at the top right here, which is a standard A10, which means it will work with all your goon-style drip tips. They also include the 510 drip tip and 510 drip tip adapter in the package. We do have top airflow only, no side airflow or bottom airflow. The top airflow slots, I believe, measure roughly around 7.8 by 1.8 millimeter each. We do have adjustable airflow control, and you can open this thing wide open or, you know, close it off for a more restricted vape. On the front is going to be the Athena logo, and then at the bottom, it does come out of the box with the bottom feeding pin already pre-installed, but if you prefer to use it on a regular device, you can install the solid 510 pin. Now, another nice little touch is going to be the locking top cap. So as you're adjusting the airflow on here, you don't have to worry about the top cap spinning, and you don't have to worry about trying to line up your coils with the top airflow because this top cap actually locks into the perfect position. If I pop the top cap off, you'll see there's a little notch cut out in the build deck right there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but when you pop the cap on, it'll stop right about there. And then as you turn it, you'll feel it kind of snap and drop down, and then push it down. Now it's locked into place. And if you look at the underside of the top cap, here are going to be the top air slots right there. So you want to make sure you build your coils a little bit taller than you usually would. Usually you build your coils really low, but on this one you want to raise them up a little bit higher to sit right alongside those top air slots. And having a closer look at the build deck, we have a 22 millimeter postless build deck. We have 4 post holes. Each of the post holes measure 2.6 millimeters each. You can do either a dual coil or a single coil on here. We have flathead screws in the posts. And we have a peak insulator separating the positive from the negative. And what's nice about this squonking RDA is when you squonk, the juice is not going to come from right here. It's actually going to come from underneath, and it's going to fill up the wicking channel. So when you build your coil, you're going to stick your wicks down in here, and when you squonk, the juice will come in from the bottom, saturate your wicks, and you're ready to squonk. So overall, I think they did a good job at designing this RDA. So with there being so many single 18650 squonk mods on the market, I think it was probably hard for Geek Vape to kind of come up with a single 18650 mod that was going to stick out from all the rest. I think what they did was they sat back and they actually waited. China doesn't wait, but I think Geek Vape sat back and waited they checked out all the devices that failed, they checked out all the devices that were successful, and I think that's what made them kind of create what they created here. They did a really good job. Now, when we go through the pros and cons, you guys can decide for yourself if this is going to be a winner or not, but I can tell you right now, I've been pretty impressed with this device, and yeah, we're going to have a quick vape. We'll jump into the pros and cons, and then once again, you guys can decide for yourselves what you think, all right? So let's have a quick vape, and then we'll get into it. So pro number one, I'm going to give it to the design and the build quality on this Athena. I think they did a damn good job. I love the battery doors. Now, I've seen a lot of people complaining about battery door movement if you go like this, and I've noticed it's, you know, it's different from each device. The one I showed you guys in the up close had absolutely no movement. This one has a little bit of button rattle, but the doors are solid. When I'm using the device normally, I get no battery door movement. Now, if you take your hand and you go like this, you might be able to move it a little bit, but once again, with normal usage, you're not going to notice any movement. It's a well thought out device. I think they actually took their time on this one. The aluminum enclosure, I think, is far superior to a lot of the plastic ones that are out there. And the overall durability of the finish, I think, is amazing. So I'll give it a thumbs up for that. The next pro is the fact that it will look good with atomizers up to 25 millimeters. Most squonking RDAs nowadays are 22, 24, or the occasional 25. So pretty much anything will look good on here. Thumbs up for that. The next pro is going to be the switch. I like the oversized firing switch on here. Very easy to press. I like the locking feature. I think they really did a good job with this locking feature. Not having to go inside and open your battery door and move little things around. I like having it right there. Easy access. I can lock it, pop it in my pocket, ready to go. And the button on here, some of these Squonk devices, I've noticed you have to really crank on the button. But on this one, you don't have to push hard on it. Just a gentle push, and it immediately fires. So I will give it a thumbs up for the overall button and locking design. The next pro is going to be the included Athena RDA. I think was very well done. I like the fact that it went with top airflow. So that way you can't really over squonk, you can't leak on this one. Very easy to build on, single or dual coil, great flavor, lots of airflow. You can turn it down for a more restricted vape. You get both drip tip options. I mean, the RDA itself, I think, just getting it itself, I think, would be a good idea. So I will give it a thumbs up for the included RDA. And the last pro are the two bottle options. Some people like the harder plastic. Some like the softer, bendable silicone. That way they give you two in the box. So that way you can decide which one to use. And they include the two feeding tubes. So that way you don't have to worry about pulling the tube out of one, and et cetera, et cetera. So overall, that's pretty much going to be it for the pros. Now, as far as cons are concerned, like I said, I think Geek Vape, I think they sat back, I think they waited, they watched the market, and they actually took their time on this one, and they put out a damn good device. And with that said, I really have no cons whatsoever. The only con I can give this thing are the color options. I think the color options are kind of boring. They come in a silver, a gray, a blue, I want to say blue, and black. And I think the color options are kind of limited. You know, I wish China would really start putting out some really popping colors like reds. Let's do some oranges. Let's do some brighter blues. Because you would be surprised, just by the color alone, a lot of people will show a lot of interest. So I think if we had some brighter colors like orange, reds, maybe some like brighter greens, this mod would really pop. But the color options are kind of a little blah. But as far as cons are concerned, that is pretty much all I can come up with. So that's pretty much going to be it, guys. That's all I got for you today. If you have any comments or questions on the Athena, please feel free to leave them below. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to everyone very, very soon. Make sure you guys build safe and vape on.